Well, with that tropical system that came through, I had to postpone a bit, but I'm leaving the marina, making my way to, I believe Jamestown is going to be the destination of choice today. We'll see what the day brings. Weather's supposed to be getting better as the day goes on. All right. Tide's coming in right now, so I'm running on the little gasoline outboard. We're passing the Dominion power plant here on the river. So finally getting a little bit of ways from home, but it's happening. It's happening. So that is the Varina-Edon Bridge on 295 behind me. This marks the furthest away from, well, the furthest downriver I've ever taken this boat. So it's all new to me from here. I guess this is where the adventure begins. Hello, little dear. I can no longer see the bridge behind me for the last few minutes now. Actually, I didn't even realize that it slipped behind me, but can't even see anything familiar now. So, holy crap, there's a bald eagle. All right, up that way is the Appomattox River. There's Hopewell over there, City Point and all that. Coming around the bend here, around the island in the middle. We're gonna have one bridge up here. When it's lowered, the bridge clearance is 50 feet, which normally I'm fine with that. I think I come in a little under 45. But with this high tide and everything, we're still gonna communicate with them. I am motor sailing now as we come down past Hopewell, and I picked up another knot just with a little bit of wind. All right, well, as Hopewell disappears behind me, we've got our bridge coming up. There is the bridge. I've already spoken with the bridge operator. I believe we are going to arrange an opening, just to be sure. All right, the bridge operator is starting the lift for us. It's gonna be pretty neat. Felt a little bad for holding up traffic just for little old me. So I had the outboard maxed and I had the inboard pegging too. So I was right around 6.5 knots coming under there, just trying to hurry up and get out of the way. Oh, look, you see behind me, the bridge is lowering. It's almost back in position now. That's pretty cool. Super nice guy operating the bridge though. Very thankful. I'm about 25 miles into the trip. Got more behind me than I do ahead of me. I think I ought to have time to anchor before sunset, right up, just upriver of Jamestown. Here pretty soon, I'm gonna finally shut off this outboard and just go electric. Not really fighting any kind of current. There's no wind to speak of. I'm cruising along on a lake here, so about had enough of the noise, and even if I don't get any wind today, I should have more than enough in the electric bag to get me the rest of the way. So, checking in. All right, a little day one update. Turned off the outboard for a while and fired up the electric motor, but I think I must have hit something or something must have come loose. Like, I've got a lot more rattling than I did. So I don't want to damage that. I'll look at it tonight or in the morning while I'm under anchor. So I'm back on the loud-ass outboard at the moment, but it's doing a great job, not complaining, pushing me along at a steady 5.2 knots. A few minutes ago, I saw a sturgeon, I think, probably in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 feet long, jump clean up out the water. And I pulled up my navigation app just to do a little update on where I am, and it turns out I'm going past Sturgeon Point. Go figure. It's pretty cool though. I've seen sturgeon jumping in the river ever since we moved to our new house a couple years ago, and it's a huge sign that the health of the river is returning. It's just good news all around. All right, I'm about to make my final turn on my course. I can see in the distance there the navigational beacon that I intend to anchor just to the left and behind of. Making the turn. Let's see if we can pick it up. Yeah, see that little twinkle light down there? That is the navigational beacon at Jamestown Beach that I'm headed to anchor for the evening. Made it before the sun went down. Well, I shouldn't say that yet, I'm not there yet, but almost. All right, I've just dropped anchor behind the Jamestown Ferry over here. That beacon thing is right behind me over there that I've been chasing for the last 5 miles. Now I'm just settling in on the anchor. As soon as the boat turns around a little bit, I'm gonna back down on it. And yeah, that's all the travel for today. So I'll get back to you in a few minutes. So this is where I'm spending my first night in my boat. The other woman. My first night with the other woman. Haha. All right. And tomorrow morning we head down that way. That's the Jamestown Ferry over there. We're gonna go past the old settlement fort area. So it's about 6:30. I'm anchored, called the kids. Wife gets off in about another hour or so, talk to her. And I don't see myself staying awake a whole lot past that. I am exhausted. And like, I mean, I was on the boat all day and out in the sun, but like, I feel like I shouldn't be this tired. But anyways, is what it is. I'm gonna scrape together something to feed myself here. And I did have to install my anchor light real quick because I never did get my mast light working again. But that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go grab a little bit and probably enjoy a beer. Ooh, actually, that rum I had on the very first episode when I brought it home, a little celebratory sip of rum for the new boat. Got the same kind with me. I think I might have a wee sip of the rum. Yeah. Pulling up a little water. Gonna have me some mac and cheese, night one. I know filming like this looks super creepy and it also makes me look bald, but when that ferry's not here, this anchorage is super peaceful. I'm liking life right now. It's good stuff. All right, it's about 10 minutes till 6 in the morning. I've already had some coffee, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get refueled, get the generator up here, and get ready for the day. I'd like to get off this anchor pretty much right at sunrise. Making my way to Norfolk today. Little charging action. All right, goodbye to my first anchorage. Heading to Norfolk. That-a-way. Just barely make it out, but those are the replica ships from at Jamestown, and right over there is the old settlement fort. That is the rebuilt church over top of the original one at Jamestown. And then I believe you can make out the walls that are reconstructed from the old fortress. And there's a monument there too. And it's a pretty neat place. You should check out Jamestown. I'm about 2 miles or so from my next anchorage, and there's just enough wind to move the boat and maintain some degree of steering. So that's what I'm doing. It's only about 2 o'clock, so I've got all the time in the world pretty much to get this last 2 miles done. So forget the motor for now. Got just enough wind. I'm doing this. So nice and quiet. Now that is freaking cool. It might be one of the Jamestown ships. That's old school wooden. That's so cool. I'm getting ready to cross over the tunnel. Goes from whatever, Newport News, Hampton Roads, over to Norfolk. It's getting pretty bouncy here as I get to the mouth of the bay, or mouth of the James, I guess. Anyways, almost there. I'm gonna be anchoring right over that way. All right, we've crossed over the tunnel and officially in the Chesapeake Bay. But now it's time to go anchor. So cruising in past that, past the old yacht club there, and there's a little anchorage back there in the corner. Behold my anchorage for the evening. I've got a couple of neighbors. That boat over there, like, it's old as crap, but cool looking. I had to guess, probably Dutch made and maybe 19 teens or 1920s. It's cool though. All right, first time ashore in almost 2 days. The ground doesn't feel too wobbly. Now I've got to make myself behave and go back to the boat and cook. I really want something fried and that somebody else made. For years, I'd drive across this bridge a couple of times a month and look over here at the sailboats and think to myself, one day, that's gonna be me. And guess the fuck what? That one day is today. That's me. Now, on account of me being an idiot, I have to forget something on every trip. I forgot 2 things that I know of so far. One is the funnel for the gas can. So it's real fun trying to fill this can while the boat rocks and rolls, like just like a little trickle at a time. It's enough to drive you to drink, which brings me to point number 2. I didn't bring a single damn cup with me. So I had to cut the top off of a water bottle and make myself a rum punch. We get by. We do. I can't even begin to describe how grateful I feel right now. Like, this is just something I've wanted for so long. I mean, I can't believe it's finally real. Like, I'm sitting here on my own boat. I mean, it's not, a New Beneteau or Robertson Kane, which are, the boats I fantasize about, but It's enough for me. So glad to be out here. The universe. Universe is a good place sometimes. Came out just a touch too well done, but otherwise, oh my god, so good. Morning. It is morning of day 3, coming up on 5 a.m. Been up since about 4, which is not normal for me. Actually, the anchorage was fine. Gonna have some pretty decent wind today. I think it's gonna be holding in the 12 to 13 knot range, gusting up to 20, I think. All right, so if you've been thinking about a Yeti cooler, maybe consider one of these Cascades. It's about a quarter of the price, and I put 24 pounds of ice in here 2 days ago, and between a third and half of it is still actually ice. So, I mean, this thing kicks butt. My old little Coleman camp one, like you had a day max and it was all water. This thing, nice, and a quarter of the price of a Yeti. All right, so I'm getting everything ready this morning to head out into the bay here in a few more minutes. Weather's going to be building today along with the swell, so probably just going to go out there and tool around for a while and actually come back here to the same anchorage. I'm a little afraid if I go across to Chesapeake and then up to Cape Charles that I might get trapped there on Wednesday. There's going to be swell of like 10 feet and more wind and rain and stuff, and you know, I got to build into it. I don't want to jump off the deep end and sink my boat and drown myself. So baby steps, but looking forward to a fun day out sailing around on the bay and coming back here. And I think I might give in to temptation and go ashore and have somebody else make my food, something fried. Yeah. All right. We are leaving our anchorage behind. Go do a little sailing. All right, probably gonna be back to the same spot though. All right, I am into the bay. Got my head sail out. Since it's my first time in the bay, I'm not gonna try to handle 2 sails right now, maybe a little later today. But I've got the full sail out and we're moving along under just sail power. All right, been underway for a little while now. Not moving very quick, about 2.5 knots. The wind's a little fickle. I definitely feel like I should get the mainsail up, but I'm just gonna cruise for a little while, get out here in some open water, and then reevaluate. I'm doing about 3.5 knots consistently now. Way over there, it's raining at Virginia Beach. I just had the worst tack of my short sailing career. Came around up into the wind, sail, you know, went all whatever, limp, and let go on that sheet, started pulling on the other one, and as I was pulling it in, it got caught in some crap on my mast, so it got stuck right in the middle, and then the other side got stuck, and it was not fun. I mean, you know, kept my head together and got through it and all, and now I'm just rolling kind of downwind, but whew, that was an experience. All right, after that horrible tack, we're now just cruising, rolling downwind, surfing the, feeling like a bobber a little bit. There we go. Just kind of trying to surf a little bit and roll downwind. She's Bobby though, going downwind. She doesn't like to hold direction well, so constant helming. It really is amazing the difference sailing with the direction of swell, more or less, than beating into that and the wind. Like, the conditions haven't changed any, but this is so much more comfortable and feels so much more manageable. Anyways, I think it's coming up on noon now. So again, with the weather worsening later and stuff, I'm gonna head on back in. Maybe see if I can't get something to eat, walk around for a few minutes before the rain comes in. That'd be cool. Over there, a couple of miles, is the anchorage. That thing is the only thing making noise out here. I gotta put it on a longer rope or get it out of the water, I guess. But whatever. I'm enjoying myself. This is nice. I would have gotten more footage from today, but my GoPro battery died. Go figure, it doesn't last very long, but hey, it's 10 years old. Really need to get a new one, but not really in the budget right now. Boat still needs too much stuff. I don't know, maybe a GoPro will magic its way to me one day. It seems to happen sometimes. We'll see. On with the sailing. Here they come. Look at all these dolphins. Hello, little dolphins. All right, so did a total of 13 miles today, just going out in the bay and back. It was definitely an experience for sure. It was pretty exciting going out there, you know, beating into the waves. The boat was really moving along. We got over 5 knots for a good while there. Coming back was a lot slower, but a lot more comfortable. Yeah, that tack was terrible. I had some ropes and stuff tied up there on the mast, and that's what ended up getting in the way of the jib sheets. And yeah, I'm gonna have to resituate all that before I go out tomorrow. Tomorrow, the plan is to sail to Yorktown so I can meet up with my wife on Thursday, and she's gonna join me for the rest of the trip. So it's only about noon still. I left out of here about 7 or a few minutes before. So the day is young. It's been sprinkling. It looks like it wants to stop raining over that way, and that's where the wind's coming from. So hopefully here in a few minutes it'll dry up. Guess I'm gonna mount the motor on the dinghy again, and maybe even take the bike and go see what's happening over there in Phoebus, I think it's called. Phoebus. Almost forgot. Casualty list for the day. One of these screws came undone out from under the seat that holds the seat to the bracket. And the other 3 were starting to get loose from all the rocking. I got the 3 like twisted back in, hand tight, and then the third one I couldn't even manage to line up, so it's still sitting back there in the corner. Also, lost one of my screens. I only had 2 left, and well, now I got 1 left. This one was hanging by a thread, and I ran up there and grabbed it before it could blow into the water. All said and done, it's a good day. All right, I am here at the Dead Rise. A painkiller and some water, some food on the way. The other woman is anchored right out there. Good time. Oh my god, this looks so awesome. Got me some bacon. These fries look battered. Oh, oh, so good. Can't wait. No, the fries were great, but that burger fills the hand. I got some big hands. I've just woken up from a good nap. Did not want to wake up, but I wouldn't have slept if I didn't. That is, I wouldn't have slept tonight if I didn't wake up. Um, uh, look at the weather for the next couple of days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday don't look too bad. Tomorrow, though, looks like the swell is going to be twice as big as it was today, and the wind's a little bit higher. Um, Not sure how I feel about sailing to Yorktown and that. Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play this by ear. I want to sail tomorrow, but you know, I'm still an amateur. Don't want to lose the boat. Don't want to lose myself. Um, may get in touch with the wife and maybe see if she wants to meet up at Jamestown or something, because I can probably sail back up to James a ways, but I don't know about going back out into the bay tomorrow. We'll see. Well, if the weather is going to be shit tomorrow, and if I get out there and I'm not feeling it, because I am going to err on the side of safety, then I'm going to be heading back up to James towards home. Just schedule-wise, not much else is going to work out. So, right now, because there's not really anything good, or there are a few fuel docks, but I'm cheap, so I'm paying pump price, and I'm just walking to a gas station. A couple blocks up, couple blocks over. Left my dinghy at a public dock, so is what it is. I'd love for the weather to be nice tomorrow and be able to sail up to Yorktown, but I mean, it's been consistent for days what the forecast is saying, so I don't know if I'm quite ready for it. We'll see. I know it defeats the purpose of going electric, but couldn't afford solar panels. This little generator, though, is doing great. From Westinghouse, got it on Amazon. I got no complaints. It's been running its little butt off. It's about 2:30 in the morning on my birthday, and the wind is just ferocious. The halyards banging against the mast, driving me nuts. There goes the creaking of the anchor line, pulling tight some more, and it's not been a comfortable trip so far. Obviously, there's nothing can be done really, just getting through it. But it's a very noisy boat. You hear the water on the hull constantly, the wind through the cables banging against the mast. On top of the fact that I don't actually fit. I'm 6.5 feet tall. I haven't been able to stand up straight in here, and I don't really fit in the bunk either. But getting through it. I don't think weather-wise it's going to be very safe for me to continue much out into the bay. It looks like Friday would be acceptable conditions, but Friday is also the day I have to kind of start making my way back home. So kind of screwed on that. At this point, it's kind of just, do I start making my way back upriver to home today, or do I spend another night here in the anchorage and then make back for home tomorrow? It's too early for this kind of thought. I was starting to do my bucket bath, as I call it. I do have an actual bucket, but I'm using the sink this morning to wash my hair, and I ran out of fucking water in my holding tank. It's all right though. Good thing I've got more than enough bottled water, so I need to feel clean. I'm just gonna get this done. All right, feeling a little better. Got cleaned up. I'm gonna have to make myself one of those gimbals for my Jetboil, like Sam Holmes has. If you've seen his channel, he's a pretty awesome YouTube sailor. But he's got this gimbal thing mounted up like right here. Like
he used some kind of 3D printed part and like some bearings, I guess, and it's pretty handy. But trying to make coffee this morning while the whole boat's doing this, I'm having to like stand right by it, like right in the companionway, and like, yeah, I got to make one of those gimbal things. Many lessons learned. I'll review later. More to add to the casualty list. This old ass Bimini, the stitching finally went on it. And then I had made that wheel for the self-steering, but in testing, turned out it was generating too much friction and I didn't want to damage the device, so I didn't use it. But because I had only set it up for testing, I didn't screw it to the other part of the wheel, so the glue came undone. And somehow last night, I must have kicked it or something, the trolley, or the shoe came off the trolley. Now, I know exactly what happened there. When I took off the bolt for that one block that's laying down, it was already pretty damaged in there. It looks like it had been held in with epoxy, so I tried to follow suit and reuse it and glue it back in with epoxy, and I guess I didn't have it deep enough with enough epoxy, but more for the casualty list. All right, just now getting underway, leaving Fort Monroe in the bridge tunnel, pulling that anchor out of that mud with this 20 some odd knots of wind, or 20-ish knots of wind. May have been the hardest thing I've done on the trip. Good God, that thing was holding. It may not be the bay. I'm back on the James heading upriver now, but I'm under sail, no motor, and doing almost 6 knots, heading nearly due west, back up to Newport News. All right, I'm coming up past the shipyards again and having to motor sail a little bit. Coming up too close on the wind really for this boat. Only got about a half or 2/3 of my head sail out and still kicking along fast. So yeah, just throwing a little motor action in there. Help get me in line to go under this bridge. Alright, well, the winds have become a lot lighter and inconsistent. Still trying to head into the wind, but I don't have enough boat speed to maintain steerage, so I come down and then get speed and pull back up, and I guess it's time to suck it up and motor for a while. 2 different course changes now, and the wind has changed with me so that I'm heading straight damn into it. Raining now, still heading right into it. Sailing was fun earlier. Making my way back at night. I kind of just tired of being on the river. It's not the bay. Just want to get this part done with and get home. It's probably going to be like almost sunrise by the time I get home. I haven't pulled an all-nighter in a while, so screw it. Red Bull up. And there it is. Home sweet home. Our slip next to the lily pad. So made it home this morning about 4:15, 4:20. exhausted. I haven't done an all-nighter in literally years. Interesting side note, um, massive sleep deprivation combined with massive amounts of caffeines causes similar effects to, like small doses of mushrooms or something. There were points where the darkness of the sky and the water, it felt like I was floating in outer space or something. It was interesting following navigational beacons, that far. Um, Anyways, I'm exhausted. Tied up the boat, went home, slept for about 6 hours or so. Um, Sore in general, mostly from standing all night at the helm because I could barely see. And anyways, I'm just gonna grab some of the perishables off the boat, and this whole thing's a wreck. I broke more shit too. Lost my new white hat. That blew off right after rounding the corner on the James and coming up past the Newport News shipyards or Hampton shipyards, whatever they are. Uh, and my seat. I know I told you I dropped a bolt from it. Well, entirely separate from that, the backrest, the left side of it, just like broke. So yay. Anyways, lots of lessons learned. Had a lot of fun. Um, Gonna kind of put together my notes and stuff and to share with you so I don't forget stuff. But I'll get that together a little later on. Right now, I'm just grabbing a little bit of stuff off the boat, headed back home. I'm gonna eat a good meal tonight and sleep in my own bed. Yeah. So I'm back now. I'm rested, back on the boat, getting ready to start doing some cleanup and everything. Start getting the boat ready for the off season, getting all the bull crap out and getting ready so I can get back to work on it. Uh, Still need to arrange somewhere to pull out at. I really want to have it here on the ground somewhere closer, but the marina I'm at, the station where the lifting crane would go at, isn't sound, so it needs to be rebuilt. Then the next marina with the ability downriver doesn't really allow that kind of work on the premises anymore. So I don't know. Gonna have to take it somewhere though. I gotta do a bottom job and look at all the through hulls and the cutlass bearing and normal stuff. Got to get it done. Um, so as far as trip goes, I had a lot of fun, especially taking it down there and actually sailing out in the bay and everything. It was a great learning experience for me. I mean, I was just floored with excitement pretty much the whole time the sails were out. On the way back, because I did end the trip a little early because of conditions in the bay. I felt I wasn't really ready for that yet. Um, but sailing through the mouth of the James on the way back, like I was hauling butt. I took a screenshot where it said 7.2, but I swear it said 7.6, and I was trying to get the screenshot before that. But when I deviated my attention just for that long from the sails and the steering, of course, we fell off from that perfect line that I was on for a second there. But still, hauling butt for the first part, and then dropped off to like two because I was heading right into the wind, going against tide and current. And it's kind of miserable getting up to Jamestown. And then the tide changed, and nature of the river gets a little different after that, and made progress a lot better. But um, lessons learned: the boat is not particularly well set up for single-handed sailing. I was not able to raise my main on this trip. I had intended to do so with my wife on board because I'd have a second set of hands. But obviously, that did not happen due to conditions in the bay again and timing of her arrival. So, still need to do that, but learn that a second person is definitely going to be critical on this boat as far as how it's set up. If I'm going to sail in anything heavier than what I did the other day, then I really need to have a second person. Um, let's see. Learned quite a bit about navigating at night and about depth perception being different. Got some good experience using the VHF. I've never really messed with that before. every boat I'd ever been on where one was needed, somebody else was always on the radio, so that was interesting. Um, some things that I learned on this trip that I'm going to take into consideration on the next boat. And don't misunderstand, I'm not getting rid of the other woman anytime soon. We're going to be together a long while yet. I got lots more things I want to do with her, and still want to take her to the Bahamas. I'm talking about after that because the intention is to sell the boat and upgrade after the Bahamas trip. Um, want something that's more comfortable for both my wife and I, and guests, potentially children. You know, so anyway, so things that I want out of that next boat, I want for starters a clear cockpit. My shin has paid the price for having the traveler here in the cockpit. Having a steering wheel just far enough back from it to where I have to have one leg at least on the inside here in order to steer from standing in front of it. Well, I forgot it multiple times, and both shins paid the price for that. So I definitely want the cockpit clear of stuff like that. Much more functional, user friendly. I would love to have self-tailing winches, and I'd especially love it the ones that have like the handles that come out of the top. Oh my god, that'd be perfect. But make and do and everything. Um, let's see what else. Speaking of this whole nav station setup over here, next boat I really need an enclosure or a pilot house or something, because standing there in all weather sucks. Speaking of having to stand there in all weather, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I was hand steering the whole time. The system I had set up for my auto tiller, there's too much friction in the system by my judgment. I set it all up and was pulling the lines by hand, and I didn't like how much tension was on it, and didn't want to hurt the auto tiller. It's not expensive, but it's not cheap either. So I don't know on that. I'm pausing the button on that one right now. I have what I need, so I'll figure that out at a later time. Um, in the coming months here, gonna get back to focusing on work on the boat. Need to tighten up some stuff, fix some stuff that broke on the trip, replace some stuff that broke on the trip. Um, Need to start thinking about doing some bigger projects, including the haul out. Need to look at my through hulls. Need to cutlass bearing. Need to paint everything, anti-foul. Uh, Prop maybe. There's so much stuff on the list. Honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed by it at the moment because trying to figure out how to pay for it as I go along. It seems like so much. I mean, I know it'll come together piece at a time, but when I try to when I start thinking about how much it is, it gets a little overwhelming. So I'm trying not to do that actually. Um, but in the coming months, there'll be more episodes focused on work again, and I'm also going to be beginning work on that smaller boat I purchased earlier this year. Obviously, I'm going to sail it some, but I think I am going to resell it after I finish fixing it up. Use it as kind of like a fundraiser for this boat. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see where the cooler temperatures take us. Work's going to continue, and the goal is still not this coming January, but the following. Plan is to take off and head for the Bahamas. So hopefully there'll be a few other trips in between now and then. I do know after having the boat out there on the bay, I need to have this boat stored down there, accessible to the bay. So once I can pull out and finish the bottom work, I think it's going to be time to find a slip down there. It is a lot of stuff to take back home from the boat. I'm used to like doing section hikes on the AT and stuff where I have to limit myself to 30 pounds or less what I can carry on my back. So that amazes me that I brought so much shit. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I certainly enjoyed making this one. I had a blast on the trip, learned a whole lot, had some goals for the future. If you enjoyed the episode, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also find me on Facebook and Patreon, links below. Please leave a comment, let me know what you thought. Always open to suggestions, and still looking to meet new friends out there who I can go sailing with and build up the experience. So let me know. Have a great day, everyone. Hope to see you out there soon.